Thank you for everyone for joining the Pre-Uni New College Term Certification webinar. My name is David at Pre-Uni New College Head Office. And it's good to see you all tonight. Thank you. Over 1,000 audience tonight. Yeah, it is great. Thank you very much. Yeah. So most of all, I'd like to thank you for all of you for your ongoing support throughout this term. Yeah, even in this challenging time, I hope everyone and their families are all safe and healthy. And yesterday we started the OC information webinar. And yesterday, Ms. Nala, one of our teachers, provided all the new OC thinking skills test component. So tonight, as the second session of the webinar, I'd like to share with you about all the next year's OC exam and placement process. Yes. And it will include the test format, application procedure, how the score will be calculated, and how to prepare for the test. So lots of information will be available tonight. And also, if you have any question, you can leave your question on the chat box, and then I will have a look or individual question, and then after the presentation, I will try to answer as many questions as possible until the time permits. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's get started. We have a lot of good news. We are hearing a lot of good news from our Year 6 parents and students regarding their outstanding result in the 2021 selective high school exam. So we have more than 1,000 successful students this year. It is another big news, great news for us. And so we invited one of the high achievers in Year 6 group to share their experience in studying at Pre-Uni and a lot of feedback from their experience during the exam. So after the meeting, we made some video for our parents so that they can get a better idea about how the selective school exam looks like. So so I think everybody is now joined. Let's double check. It's still joining. Okay. So the video will be around 10 minutes. So I hope all of you can enjoy the video. So okay. Let me just start the video then. Okay. Enjoy your video.
How was everyone feeling after the results came out?
I was relieved that I made it to Balkan Hills.
I'm relieved I got the score that I wanted, and I got into the school I wanted as well.
I'm happy and I'm proud of myself that I got into the school I wanted to go to.
So I was quite happy about the results because I got into the school I wanted to get into.
I was proud that I got into the school that I wanted to go to.
I was relieved and proud that I got into the school I wanted to.
How did you feel during the test?
I felt very nervous.
I was feeling really nervous as well.
I was calm but a bit nervous.
I was nervous.
I was nervous but also relieved that the test would be over once we finish it.
How did you find the overall difficulty of the final exam, putting everything together from a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the easiest and 10 being the hardest?
From a scale out of 10, I'd put around like 7 or 8 because like the maths and the thinking skills was easier than I expected, but the English was a bit on the harder side, especially the writing.
Overall, it was easier than I thought, and the practice exams helped me a lot, and I would put it as a 5 or a 6.
I would put it around 5 or 6 because the English closed passage was a bit more challenging than I thought it would be.
I would rate the test from 1 to 10. I would rate it a 6 because I found mathematical reasoning and thinking skills quite easy, but I found English on the harder side.
I would rate the test on a scale of 1 to 10 around 5 or 6, as the maths and the thinking skills were easier than I expected, but the English was around on level in the middle, so the practice tests helped me a lot for the English.
Since you were the first year to sit the thinking skills test, how did the change from the GA to thinking skills affect you?
It affected me because I hadn't studied from the previous years, as it was just announced last year. So I didn't have time to prepare enough for the thinking skills.
I would say that first I was kind of in panic mode because I hadn't studied it, but then Pre-Uni adapted quickly, as I said before, and it helped me, so it didn't really affect me that much.
I think Pre-Uni helped me a lot because they prepared lots of thinking skills questions, and they changed the GA to thinking skills really good.
I think that the transition from GA to thinking skills made it easier for me because I personally wasn't that good at the general ability.
I found the transition between the thinking skills and GA quite stressful at first, as 1 year of study had gone down the drain, but I quickly adapted and used my time efficiently and did quite well in the test.
Do you remember any particular question that you found the hardest?
I didn't find any questions particularly hard, but the closed passage was a bit challenging.
I only found the writing a little bit harder than I expected because the subject was really closed on what you can write about.
I think the closed passage in English was a bit hard, and the writing topic had limitations to what we had to write about.
I found the closed passage in English as well as some of the comprehension questions quite challenging in English.
How did you manage your time during the actual test?
For me, I had a technique where I do all the easier questions first to make sure I got the easy points, and then I would come back to the harder ones.
I think I managed my time quite well. I had time left over to check all my questions on most of the subjects.
I did the questions I knew how to do first in order, and then if there was a question I found challenging, I will guess it and then leave it for the end.
I found that I managed my time quite well because when I finished the test, I had time left over so I could check on my questions to make sure I had all the ones I could do right.
I managed my time quite well. The only thing was that in English, I think it made an educated guess on one question, so I think I did pretty well.
Are you proud of the results you achieved? So do you have no regrets?
I'm really proud of my results as I made it to my first choice.
I'm really proud of my results because I also made it to my first choice.
I'm proud of my results and I got into the school I wanted, and I'm happy that all my hard work has paid off.
I'm proud of my results because I got into the school I wanted to and all the hard work paid off.
I'm proud of my results and happy that I got the score I got so that I could go to the school I wanted to.
I'm proud of what I got in the test because I got into my first choice, and so that all the work I had done for the previous 2 years didn't go to waste.
So how did you prepare for the selective test?
By doing some harder questions from the subtext and practicing thinking skills.
I would study by revising the things that I got wrong in the past and seeing if I could do it faster and better.
I study by doing the practice tests that Pre-Uni had set out and doing extra thinking skills questions.
I studied by working hard on the questions I wasn't good at.
I studied hard because I did the questions from the Pre-Uni test, and if I got them wrong, I'll go over them to make sure I knew how to do them the next time.
Which type of courses did you think helped you the most?
The English and the thinking skills course helped me the most because our year was the first year thinking skills was in selective.
Yeah, the thinking skills was the most helpful because they really quickly adapted and helped us prepare for it.
I think STCC helped me a lot as well because it prepared me for the types of questions and the exam conditions.
I think the thinking skills helped a lot because it was a new format and I could understand the logic questions better.
I think the STDC and ASAT tests helped me most because they helped me get used to the time limits and how to do the questions.
I think the STDC helped me with the test, with the thinking skills and the test format, and then the WMG or the WMT helped me with the basics.
So you guys did a lot of practice exams, right? Did it help you prepare for the final exam?
Yes, practice tests helped me a lot with the question types and the time management and the exam conditions we had to work with.
The tests were really useful because I knew what the new format would be like.
Yes, because the practice tests would really help us get used to the time and the new questions.
The practice tests were really useful for me as they helped me learn time management, and then I also learned about question types, which I couldn't have learned otherwise.
Did the tests help you with the time management?
Yes, Pre-Uni introduced to me the new format and helped me prepare.
Yes, the practice test did help me with the time management.
Yes, they helped me with the time management and it was the same as the actual exam.
The time we were given in the question, they were given really similar to the test, so it really helped with the time management.
Yes, definitely the practice tips helped me with time management because previously I would be really slow at doing the questions, so yeah.
Now I guess I covered most of the topics. Do you have any advice or suggestions you want to share with your peers in future years?
That you should manage your time well so you can finish all the questions in time. And you should check back all your questions.
When you're doing a test, don't think that just because you're done, you're done. You have to keep on checking non-stop. You can always find a silly mistake.
So when you do tests, don't panic and try and do the questions as best as you can and go over the hard questions, go back to them at the end if you have time.
Don't overthink the questions and don't spend too much time on the questions you don't know.
If you find a question that would be too challenging, you should guess it and then go back to it. But you should guess it first in case you don't have enough time to go back to it again.
To calm myself down, I just made myself accept that I would get a really low score and just went and got as many points as I could.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, well done. Good job. Yeah. I'm very proud of their success, and yeah, they went through all the hardest times throughout last year. Yeah, since from year 3, yeah, they tried their best, and now they achieved their goal. Yeah, with Pre-Uni. Yeah, so I'm very proud of them, and yeah, I hope their success will continue throughout secondary study at selective school and beyond. Congratulations. Yes. Okay. Yes, when I checked their result, we just had to look at the top 10 selective schools, how many students got in. And we found that we got, just for the first round offer, we got 67 James Root students, which is more than half of the total number of places. And Berkeley 83, and we got 59 successful students in North Sydney boys, followed by Hornsby girls and North Sydney girl 45. Yeah, lots of success story in the recent selective school placement. So yeah, we are quite happy about this result, and yeah, it's your turn now. Yeah, so we hope we can make another successful year with your child next year and year after. Okay. Yeah, so tonight's webinar is all about OC placement process, yeah, especially for our year 3 parents. So yeah, many year 3 parents are quite concerned about their child's OC placement, and yes, the OC is quite well-known education system in New South Wales. It is to cater for academically gifted students with high potential. So by using this program, all the gifted and talented students can group together and make them work together at a very high standard, and then delivering more customized GNT curriculum. So by doing this way, the highly achieving students can reach even further full potential by the end of year 6. And generally, OC students always outperform their normal school students in the selective high school placement test. So if you want to make a child to reach your full potential before the selective school exam, yeah, OC school is a very good goal to set, yeah, for your child. Yeah. So that's why, yeah, we are trying our best to make them prepare for the exam well in advance. Yeah. So in New South Wales, there are many OC schools available, around 75 schools in New South Wales, including all regional area. So total number of places for year 5 entry into OC is 1,830. So that's the total placement available. And yeah, in terms of the number of applicants, it's quite huge. Yeah. For example, in 2020 exam, there were more than 14,500 students who set the exam for the seeking to the placement in the OC. Yeah, we can see very high competition in this placement test. Yes, so to get into one of the OC schools, they should be reached in top 13%. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be very challenging. Yeah. So without the preparation, it's going to be very challenging and it'll be very hard to achieve. Yes. So that's why we need to prepare well in advance. So year 3 term 4 will be the very good start to start the preparation for the OC exam. Yes. In terms of entry score, yeah, there are some changes in entry score, but still we can see which OC schools are the most popular schools. So until last year, yeah, we found that the Beecroft OC public school was the number one, and then followed by Matthew Pierce Public School, North Rock and Wilmington Public School, followed by Dural Public School, Wright, Summerhill, Cheswood, Achamon. Yeah. So most of the school has just one OC class. So it's going to be very challenging to get in. Yes. So when you apply the OC, you can choose maximum 2 OC schools. Yeah. From 2 choices, they will offer just 1 OC. Yeah. Okay, and for year 3 students, the exam date will be 27th of July next year. It is term 3, week 2, Wednesday. For current year 4 students, they need to wait for the final confirmation from the education department regarding the new OC exam date. Yeah, due to the pandemic, they haven't decided yet for this year's OC exam. Yeah, probably mid-November. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah. So please check the education department website regularly to find out the new OC exam date. But for year 3, current year 3 students, if there is no happening next year, this is the actual exam date, 27th of July, 2022. Yeah. So that means we have 11 months remaining, less than 10 months and 26 days before the exam. Yeah. So that's the preparation period we can make use until the exam. Yeah. So for year 3 parents, next year in April, the New South Wales Department of Education will open the application website, which is online, and then the parents can register for the application, and they are expected to finish their application by mid-May. And then usually the application will be forwarded to your child's school principal so that they can provide the school score. Yeah, they will use school score to calculate the final placement score. And then just 2 weeks before the exam, you will get the test confirmation letter with all the test information. And then there will be a test. Yeah. In year 3, it will be 27th of July, just one day, a big day, centralized testing. Yeah, at the same time, more than 14,000 students will sit the same test. Yes. And normally the outcome will be available from October. So you will get an email with the outcome letter, which school is available for your child. So we can find out next year, October, about the outcome. Yes. So once the application website open, you can register for the account registration, and then you can fill in the application form, which is electronic form, and also it's kind of the portal site, so it contains your application status, whether you finished the application, and also there is some inbox and message box. Any special announcement from the education department, you can check using the messaging system in this portal site. And also you can make an inquiry through the sending a message to the high-performing student unit in New South Department of Education. And all the letter, including authority letter, test confirmation letter, can be available to download from this website. Yes. So if you need to submit any supporting document, you can lodge through this system. So it's kind of, they just may change more centralized online system in the OC placement process. Yes. So more detailed information will be available once they open the website. Yeah, we will let you know, and please keep check our regular newsletter and email. Yeah, so from last year, yeah, the new and big changes in OC and selective school exam format. So it was very busy period for us to find out all the relevant information about new changes. So their plan is the transitioning the traditional paper test into computer-based test from next year. For the year 4 OC placement test, it will be last paper test. The date has been confirmed yet, but it will be definitely paper test. And then next year, March, the year 6 students will try the last selective school paper test. Afterward, they are planning to change all paper tests to computer-based online test. So we need to prepare for the online test from the beginning, especially for year 3 students. They should be familiarized with the computer testing environment. So we put a lot of effort to developing new computer-based tests so that they can practice and familiarize all the testing environment before the actual exam. So as long as you follow our instruction, you should be okay for the exam. So another change is testing test paper developer. Previously, there was they always used the Acer selection test papers. Australian Council for Educational Research. They produced lots of selection tests, including OC and selective. But from this year, the contract has been changed, and now the UK-based Cambridge assessment in Cambridge University, they are developing the new OC exam papers. And the test format has been changed, including test subject. And the Jenison Education Group, which is provider for the NAPLAN online test, they will do the computer-based test for OC and selective school exam from next year. So the Jenison Education Group is quite well-known Australian-based company, and I think you've already experienced in NAPLAN result, NAPLAN test. That means the actual exam, computer-based exam, will look like that. In terms of the exam subject, there are 3 tests, 3 sections. On the exam day, they will do 3 tests: reading test, mathematical reasoning test, and thinking skill test. So all are multiple choice tests, but different number of questions will be shown in each test. The reading test contains 25 questions, and they need to finish in 30 minutes. For the mathematical reasoning test, it's kind of math test. In previous math test, just changing the naming. It contains more questions, 35 questions, and more longer time, 40 minutes. So, and also the choice option, there are 5 options. In the mathematical reasoning, there are 5 options, A, B, C, D, and 1 more, E. So that make our students a bit more confused, but still okay. Mathematics is one of the strengths. We are very strong in mathematics. And the new thinking skill test, this is the problem. Previously, it was GA, general ability test, but they changed test format, and the way of asking the question is quite slightly different, and it contains 30 questions, and students have only 30 minutes. That means just 1 minute per questions. So that's why we already started thinking skill component from year 3. So I think most of our year 3 students become more familiar with the thinking skills, the concept. So yeah, they are developing more higher level of thinking skills. And next term, yeah, we can provide more higher level of thinking skills, yeah, so that they can make a strong foundation in thinking skills. Okay, the final score called calculated placement score. So maximum score has been trained. 120 will be the maximum possible score, and it's combination of test score 100 marks plus 20 marks from the school assessment score. So total 120 marks. Yeah, it's one of the big difference from 2019. It was out of 300 marks previously, but now just 120 marks. So, okay. So, yeah, this column, this pie chart shows the relative weighting between the test component. So 120 marks out of 120, 33 marks from the reading, another 33.3 marks from thinking skill, and 33.3 marks from mathematics, and 20 marks from the school. Yes. Okay, let's find out let's convert it into percentage. Yeah. So reading 28%, thinking skill 28%, and math 28%, and school mark is just 16%. Yeah. So that means test performance will make more than 80% of the total score. Yeah. Previously, it was just 1/3 of total marks, but now just 16% of the total mark would be school assessment score. Yeah. So that means even though your child got a very good school mark, you cannot just rely on that mark too much. Yeah. It seems that the actual test performance will most likely decide the outcome. Yeah. So we need to prepare well in advance for the actual exam. Yeah. So exam preparation is very, very important. Okay, last November, right after the exam, yeah, we contact our year 4 students who just finished their OC exam, and we collect lots of information about the new OC exam. Yeah, so, and also lots of valuable feedback. Yeah. So, in terms of reading test, it contains fiction and non-fiction, the extract, and there's 1 poem and information report and some article from the newspaper. Yeah, so lots of different kind of text they need to read first and identify the main idea and trying to find the correct answer. Yes. And mathematical reasoning test was quite okay for our students. It just covers most major mathematical topics, including data, measurement, algebra, number patterns, and then some statistics like table and chart, and 2D and 3D shape related question, geometric patterns, angle, and there is some probability questions, but most likely they are quite okay to try, and they could finish all questions in time. Yes. Yeah, thinking skill test. Yeah, there were lots of feedback about the thinking skill test. So yeah, yesterday Ms. Nala An just provide more detailed information. But generally speaking, there are two different kind of questions: problem-solving questions and critical thinking questions. Each category contains lots of different sub-trends, and we need to make our students to deal with this kind of new question types. And but practicing lots of new thinking skill questions, it become very comfortable to try. Yeah. It takes time, but still it's okay. It's not too late. From year 3, term 4, yeah, we got heaps of practice course focusing on thinking skill test. So please just follow our instruction, then your child should be ready for the exam without any problem. Okay. And last night I got many questions about how do they advise the placement outcome. So yeah, that's why I just insert some new slide regarding the OC placement outcome advice. Okay, so when you apply the OC, you chose 2 schools, number 1 choice and number 2. So 2 choices. And then they will assess your child's ability and test outcome. Then they will send you the letter, maybe email first in October, and that shows the outcome of your application. Yeah, so I just, this is from one of our year 5 students' outcome letter. Yeah. So in this case, this student chose Hurstville Public School as the first choice and Karimban North as the second school. And he got offer from Hurstville Public School. The outcome offer, that means congratulations, you got offer from this school. So they could get into the first school choices. Once they got a first school choices offer, the second choice is not applicable because you've already got an offer from first choice. So not applicable means they don't consider second choice. Another example is like this. So first choice, he got reserve, and second choice, Smithfield Public School. Yeah, he got offer from Smithfield Public School. So that means he got a waiting list in Grace Dance Public School, and his position is 15. That means later. Usually 1 month later, they start the reserve process. So if there is a vacancy for that school, due to various reasons, if there is some places available, they will process the reserve number. And the first number 1 reserve number students will get a offer for the later offer. Yeah. And what about the offered school like Smithfield Public School? You got offer from Smithfield Public School already. That means you can accept the offer from the second choice, and also you can wait for the first school of late offer, until next year term 1. So don't worry. Still you can keep the offer of the school, and you can wait for the reserve of the school. So this is the worst case. Just reserve. So it means these students can wait for the summer public school, reserve number 17, and they may get a late offer. Reserve number 17 is a very good chance to get in late offer anyway. So this is how we can read out the outcome letter when you receive the offer letter in October next year. Okay. There are many questions. Okay. Okay. So which period will be covered for the school mark. Yeah, that's one of the most frequently asked question at the moment. Yeah, the school assessment score will be just 1 year, 4 terms performance at their own school. So you applied in April, and from May, your child's school principal can assess your child's school score and submit to the high performing student unit. That means they will assess term 3, term 1, year 3, term 1, year 3, term 2, probably year 3, term 3 as well. So most likely, year 4, term 1, term 2, year 3, term 4, year 4, term 1, and year 4, term 2. Yeah, that's the main period they can assess your child's performance at school and provide the school mark. Okay. Okay, the test date, are they doing the all tests on the same day? Yes, they will do all 3 tests at the same time on the same day. Yes, so around 1.5 hours. 1 hour 40 minutes test altogether. So it takes around 2 hours to finish all the tests. Yes. Okay. So mathematical reasoning skill is not a part of thinking skill. Mathematical reasoning is different test, and there is separated thinking skill test. Yeah. So mathematical reasoning test is kind of previous mathematics test. Yeah. There are very minor difference between them, but generally, as long as they just go through our mathematics WMT modules, there should be no problem. The thinking skill contains critical thinking and problem solving. It's slightly different from mathematical reasoning. It is more like a language skill, verbal reasoning skills, and analytical skills, interpretation skills. Yes. Okay, let's move on to the next. Yes. So from year 3, term 4, it's time to start OC exam preparation. It takes 1 year, at least 1 year preparation. Yeah. So we have 11 months. That means it's a good start. Yeah. To commence the OC exam preparation. Yeah. So we will provide 4 major courses. WMT course for the solid foundation, and trial test course for the regular exam practice with exam style questions on a testing environment. And during the holiday course, we can consolidate their knowledge through the intensive study, even during the holiday time. And probably there will be final practice tests called like annual intensive OC trial test course. Just before the exam day, we can final check their readiness using the special AIOCT event. So we will conduct 4 major courses throughout 4 terms. Yes. So during 11 months, we will guide you how to complete all the preparation through these major courses. Especially WMT course, we got very, very good feedback from our former students, especially selective school exam and recent OC exam. The most valuable and helpful course is WMT course. Due to new revised mathematical reasoning and thinking skills component, so they can practice a lot of theoretical and foundation studies through the WMT course, and all the cyber school online resources focusing on new thinking skills. And also we are put more focus on reading skills as well, and it will cover lots of new question type like multiple matching question and closed passages and gap text questions. yeah, they can experience lots of exam-style question through WMT course. So please make use of a WMT course. And the material is fantastic. Yeah, all our parents are quite happy about our courses. Yeah, it's the result of extensive research and development and preparation since they announced the new thinking skill and new exam format in 2019. So now we are very proud of providing the best material through the WMT course. Okay. And from Term 4, Year 3 students can start OC trial, OCTTC course, starting from OC Foundation, OCFC course. And it will be exactly the same format as an actual exam papers. 30 questions in 40 minutes, 35 questions in 40 minutes, and thinking 30 questions in 30 minutes. So they will experience all the new exam style question through the OC trial test course. And then week by week, they got more better mark. They will be familiar with the testing environment and minimize any silly mistakes and increase the accuracy, and they feel more comfortable in the actual exam. And they'll be very confident. So for the Year 3 students, Term 4 OC Foundation course is highly recommended because usually when they just start OC trial test course at the beginning from next year, they're going to be very disappointed for the actual mark due to, it's all actual exam condition. And if there is no previous knowledge or there is no strong foundation, it's very hard to finish in time all the questions. That's why we are providing the foundation course. And during the foundation course study, they can do the foundation work with all the question types that will be dealt with during the OCTTC next year. And they can feel more comfortable to try the OCTTC. So we're not going to do all tests in one session. So Year 3 students will start from every 2 weeks test practice. So 1 week for the reading test. So 2 reading tests will be covered. And then in the following week, they will practice with mathematical reasoning and thinking skill test. So 2 weeks, whole test, which is a bit better to feel more comfortable. And as time goes by, they can increase their speed and get more idea about the exam. So it's kind of foundation course. Yes, very good start point for the OCTTC. So during OCFC, Term 4 OCFC course, they will learn lots of the major topics in each section. As I mentioned before, the reading test. Through the reading test practice, they will experience in closed text questions, gap text, and multiple matching, also reading comprehension, and poem. There will be always poem question, around 4 to 5 questions. So we will do poem question and extract question as well. And lots of vocabulary practice to speed up their reading speed. Mathematical reasoning, geometric operation, arithmetic operation, number sequence, determining unknowns like algebra practice, data interpretation using the table and chart, and also the 2D, 3D shapes. And then thinking skill, major topics, analyzing the argument, relevant selection, and finding the strengths and weakness in the text, and making the conclusion, identifying the conclusion, and similarity. These are all major thinking skill topics will be covered during the OCFC. And once they start OCTTC after the OCFC, usually they got much better mark than others. So it's highly recommendable. Yes. Okay, lots of questions again. Yes, are you allowed a piece of paper to do some calculations in? They will be allowed to use a piece of blank paper, to work out any mathematical reasoning or thinking skill questions. Yes. Okay. What is AIOCT? AIOCT is a final practice exam just 1 week before the actual exam. So we are calling it annual intensive OC trial test. It will be just 1 day trial exam, and we want to make them experience actual exam day, what will happen on the actual exam, and they will do the final check. Okay. Do we have any more practice tests for the exam in October 2021? So I think this is from year 4 parents, sorry, because the exam date has been delayed. So previously it has been scheduled on 6th of October, which is week 1 of next term, but it has been cancelled. So during October, yes, we have decided to provide more practice OC revision practice test for your child. So it will be available from term 4. Probably we are not sure when will be the actual exam date. Maybe mid-November. That means we can maybe 2 to 3 more revision practice tests for our year 4 parents. Yes. So we are working on it, and once we are ready, yes, you can start again with the practice test until the exam. Yes. Okay. We will do it for you. Okay. So if my child is going to attend WMT in term 4, is it okay to do both OCFC together? Yes. OCFC is very good courses for the OC trial test course next year. As I mentioned before, it's not like an actual OC exam, but still okay to practice exam style question. It's a bit more easier than actual OC trial test, but they can have very good idea about the exam, and they don't have to be nervous for the actual exam format. So, and it's just 2.5 hour session per week. So it's quite capable to do both WMT and OC. WMT is all about foundation study. They need to learn the knowledge and theory and concept to try all the OC exam style questions. So WMT course is the mandatory course, of course. Yes. Okay. Another question is, if my child can't get a school mark, like Catholic school, will my child lose 20 marks? No. If your child's school principal doesn't provide a school mark, which is 20 marks, still you will get out of 120 marks. And it will be totally based on the exam score. So total 300 marks, the math and then thinking skill and then reading test will make 60, total 120 marks. Yes. So 1/3 from each test component. So still 120 marks, not 100. Okay, so from term 4 until next year, winter, before the exam, we have 11 sessions for the OCFC, followed by maximum you can provide 33 trial test practice. So I think as long as you just follow this schedule, there should be no problem with the preparation for the OC exam. So just feel free to check our newsletter and all the schedule. And if you have any question, please contact me and discuss with me, and everything should be fine. Okay. especially from this year, through the cyber school, all our online lessons. So we are making use of all the cyber school services, additional services and courses available, especially for thinking skills. Yeah, we got a lot of resources for critical thinking skills. And we have one of the new edition of the book, which is Logical Thinking Skills Resource Book, which is available now at our online bookshop. And also, if they want to practice more general ability, like it contains lots of verbal and non-verbal reasoning practice. So it's good for private school scholar test in the future in year 5. And yes, it's quite good. So just feel free to take these courses, which is available at the cyber school, and it's complimentary course. We don't charge any fee for this course, so you can get an idea how to develop more reasoning skills. It's kind of aptitude skills. So it can be another good resources, to build up the thinking skills as well. So I highly recommend to make use of all the available cyber school services, and then so that we can provide more services throughout this term and also next year. And we got very good feedback about cyber school services, because every week another new services and new update will be available. So please make use of all cyber school services all the time. Okay. 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 So yes, thank you. We have last session for the OC webinar tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I invited our English teacher, Mrs. Kelly Jones. She's expert in English test. So he's involving lots of development in OC exam paper as well. So she will provide more detailed information about reading component in the OC. So you will get more valuable information from her. So I think, if you haven't registered yet, you can register at the cyber school. If there is a registration link, then please make sure you just register, and then I hope to see you again tomorrow night. Yes. Okay. Okay. And I will answer some questions from our parents. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, online test, how will it be conducted? Yes. So the online test will be conducted by the cyber school website. So on the scheduled date, you will join by a Zoom meeting with your teacher, and the teacher will provide the test instruction. That means you need to go to the computer-based testing website, which is available in cyber school. Just click the link, and then just log in with your student number and test code for the day. Then you can start the online test. It's quite looks like the NetPlan online test. You don't have to be nervous. It's very familiar testing environment. And then there will be 30 minutes reading test with 30 questions, and then second reading test, another 30 minutes, and then you will take a 10 minutes break. After the test, for the remaining time, around 1 hour, 10 minutes, teacher will go through every single test in the exam. On the following week, it will be the same procedure, but mathematical reasoning 30 minutes, and another 30 minutes for the thinking skill test. So 60-minute testing and 70-minute test review. So every week, there will be the different style of question, and at the end of the term, your child will experience all required exam style question, and then your child will be ready. Okay. Okay. So yeah, by taking just OCFC, yeah, usually OCFC alone is not effective because the OCFC is to cover the question, but if your child don't study the normal WMT, it's going to be very hard to tackle all those cases. Your child should study through the WMT and learn all the required topic in the thinking skill, mathematical reasoning, and reading part. Especially reading part, your child should read lots of text. Yeah. The reading test contains lots of different types of text. So yeah, the WMT English module contains all required stimulus text and lots of practice in terms of reading comprehension. Yes. So I highly recommend to commence both courses together. Okay. Yes. Okay. So if you have any question, you can still post your question, and after the session, I will have a look all the log with your question, and I will summarize all the answers for the question, and I will place on the cyber school website for you. Yeah. Okay, last question. Can I watch the session again? I missed the first part. Yes. This session has been recorded. So for the next 2 days, still you can replay this session using the same webinar code, yeah, webinar link. So don't worry, you can watch it again and you can catch up any missing part. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. for the last OC webinar with Mrs. Kelly, and we will discuss about the reading test component in more details. Thank you.